Hi, this is Jude.
I'm Paul.
And welcome to today's video, which is a watch this before you buy, because we found a problem with this toy.
Oh, yeah, it's unfortunate because we found the ZURU Pets Alive turtle really nice, but it also appears to have a problem.
So we did an unboxing of this ZURU Pets Alive Mama Surprise turtle and eggs a week or so ago.
And we thought it was great.
I loved the concept of the little turtles hatching out of the eggs,
Which worked well.
I thought the tank was really pretty with the false slant base, and I liked the little turtle that they had with it. But unfortunately...
Yeah, when we made the review video, we were having some issues with this turtle at the time, but we weren't sure what it was, and we thought it was the batteries. We thought maybe we've got a dud set of batteries.
So I'll just tell you briefly what was happening. So when we first unboxed this turtle, it didn't last very long before we had to change the batteries because it wasn't working.
Yeah, so it runs for a couple of minutes and then stops, and that's how it should work, isn't it? And then you take it out of the water and pop it back in again, and it's supposed to start up again for 2 more minutes.
Yes, and it did that, but it only did it for a few times.
A few times, then it stopped working altogether, and we thought it was the batteries.
So we changed the batteries, and then it only lasted one cycle. You know, it would stop working after a certain amount of time. You take it out, but it wouldn't start swimming again. So we thought at first that it was sensitive to battery voltage dropping because the batteries we took out measured fine.
Yeah.
So since we did that video, Paul has done some testing on this using
a variable power supply where we can finally control the voltage.
And he found that it would only work when you put batteries in. So you could take out and put the original batteries back in, and then it would start working again. So it wasn't anything to do with the batteries.
That's right, yeah. I mean, what's supposed to start it working is when these two studs, when you dry them off and put them back in water or touch them again, resistive touch sensors, that's what's supposed to start it going through another cycle.
So you thought there must be something wrong with the resistive sensors. And then you started to notice water coming out of the turtle.
Yeah, when I was taking the batteries in and out, I noticed a few blobs of water appearing every now and again, and I thought at first it's got into the battery compartment. But if you look at the battery compartment door, it's got a wonderful seal all the way around it, which you can actually see there. It's watertight, so the obvious thing is water was getting in somewhere else.
And so you concluded that water had got into the turtle,
Yeah.
had
gone on the back of those resistive touch contact points internally.
So that was stopping them from working.
Yeah, well, the microcontroller inside was just thinking it was in the water all the time, even though you dry these off, because they shorted on the back by a blob of water that's got through the turtle. You could never re-trigger the swimming cycle by drying those off and dropping it in again. The only way you could do it is, as you said, take the batteries out and put them back in, and that would give you one cycle.
So water had stopped these from operating, and eventually that water made its way into the battery box. So water got into the battery box from outside of the battery box, but like inside the turtle.
Yeah.
So then you looked at this seal around the shell.
Yeah, because they make it in 2 hours and then they join it together with some sort of adhesive.
And it appears that seal...
It's irregular. Yeah, you can see gaps where there shouldn't be, especially at the back end. Have you noticed at the back end there's like a lump on the pink moulding, and it looks like it's stopping the shell going down properly.
Yes, I can see there.
Now, ZURU have had a lot of experience of making these things, and they've always made them watertight up until now. But unfortunately, ours, and as we found out a few others, people have experienced water ingress.
Yes, I could say that we were just like really, really unfortunate, and this was just a one-off. However, having looked at some comments on Amazon, it appears that this is a common fault. So here are some of the 1-star reviews. It says battery went dead after 1 day. battery compartment is full of water and nothing worked after an hour. Mother turtle only worked for about 2 hours before the circuits got wet and it stopped swimming. Mother turtle takes water, which wets the batteries inside, which is of course dangerous. Batteries last 5 minutes. After the first use in water, the mama turtle stopped working because it was full of water. Mama turtle lasted 10 minutes before I had to dry the batteries. This went on the whole day. The next day the batteries were brown with rust. Turtle no longer works despite changing the batteries. So people were assuming that it was water getting into the battery compartment that was stopping it from working. But as we said, Paul, it's more to do with water getting into the turtle through the side, then affecting those resistive contacts.
That's right.
And then eventually making its way into the battery compartment.
Yeah.
Also, it's not just the 1 stars. There was 2-star reviews that were saying the mama turtle stopped working, and 3-star reviews that said the mama turtle stopped working. So the people who gave it 3 stars were giving it some stars for the actual eggs hatching and the tank itself and how nice it looks. And in fact, one person said it did look really, really nice, but the mother turtle stopped working, and that's why they gave it 3 stars.
Yeah, so all those people are saying what those people have said. It's not really a battery issue at all. In fact, the turtle, if it didn't leak, would last a long time on those 3 LR44 batteries. It's just the fact that it's got a leak.
Yeah, but the main point of including this is to show ours wasn't a one-off. It's quite common.
Exactly.
So you actually noticed that if you tap it like this...
Well, I can do it now. There's probably still some in, so I'm gonna bang it on my hands like this, yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's been stood a day, so none's coming out. Oh, just a little bit now. Can you see some wet marks on my hand?
Right, but not much.
Not much, because it is drying out slowly.
Uh-huh.
So that's coming out from inside the turtle through the battery box through me banging it. So it shows you it's wet inside.
If you've already bought one of these, what can you do apart from taking it back to the shop? So one thing you can do is try to reseal the turtle. So once this has dried out fully, we're going to try and put some silicone around here and see if we can seal it up ourselves. Because if we can seal it up, once we've got all the water out, then it should work okay.
And continue to work, yeah, as long as water can't get inside on the resistive sensors.
So if you've got one of these and you haven't opened it yet, what you could do is just check and see if you've got one that's got any gaps around the shell. And if it has, you could use... What would you suggest? Silicone sealant?
Well, there are a few, any sort of like thin adhesive, which is going to stick well to plastic and cure nicely. I can think of maybe Evo Stick, or there's a Gorilla version of Evo Stick, which is crystal clear. That might be more suitable than silicone. But silicone, if it's put on carefully, should work as well.
Now, that's one option. Another thing you could do
is just buy a different turtle.
Is buy an extra turtle, because these
that's made
ones,
by ZURU as well, isn't it?
This is an old ZURU turtle. This has lasted for ages and ages and
ages. It's got the same batteries in too, hasn't it?
Yeah. I repainted this, but you can still buy these. So I'll show you the listing for the ones that you can buy now. So this is the listing on Amazon. Robo Alive Turtle by ZURU. This is a 2-pack. You get a blue one and a brown one for $15.99.
And the third possibility is if you do get water ingress and your turtle stops working, to restart it, you've just got to take the... I say just, it's a bit awkward. You take the batteries out and put them back in again. And
I don't think that's an option, because...
It could be if you've got an upset kid on...
You're going to get water in there.
Yeah.
And that's not good. The batteries are going to get rusty. So
True.
Personally,
yeah.
I don't see that as an option.
It isn't, but if you've got an upset kid on Christmas Day because the turtle stopped working, the way to get it working again is to take the batteries out and put them back in. And you could do that a few times to avoid some tears maybe. But it's you're right, it's not a permanent solution.
So we're going to test out this turtle because...
It's been drying for a day, hasn't it?
Yeah, so we'll see if it's working any better. But before we do that, there's one other thing about this toy that might be useful for you. These eggs have got little bits of tape on them.
Which is like
and
PVA.
It's dissolvable tape.
PVA water dissolvable.
And that's how they hatch. But once they hatched, of course, you can't repeat the process. But what we found was this tape that's sold for dressmaking. So I got this off Amazon UK, but I'm sure there's equivalents on Amazon.com. And I had a quick look just to see if there seemed to be the same sort of stuff on Amazon.com. And I found this. So yes, there's plenty water-soluble wash-away tape. And it's various prices depending on how much you buy. But I think this was about the cheapest that I saw, $7.70. So yes, if you are giving this toy for Christmas, it might be a good idea to get some of this and have it in reserve.
Yeah, because you can enjoy the hatching experience as many times as you want then.
So we'll show you how effective that is later in the video, but now we're going to put the batteries back in this turtle and see if it's working any better now.
Okay, so when we put the batteries back in, it will start up for a cycle.
Yes.
But what we want to do is let it stop.
Yes, and then see if we can start it up again by touching those contacts.
Okay. Okay, so it started up, but we'll let it come to the end of its cycle and see if we can start it up by touching the contacts.
So it just did a beep as well.
It's come to the end of its cycle, and we would normally trigger that by, or you would normally trigger it by touching the resisted touch sensors. No, it's still not working. So
still not working.
If
so
you dry
it's
this
not
off,
dried out yet.
Yeah, so it's still wet on the other side of these sensors.
So it's going to take quite a while, isn't it?
That's after about a day and a half.
So we do intend sealing this once we get it fully dry, but it's obviously going to take more than 1 day to get fully dry.
Yeah, perhaps
so we'll do a follow-up video when we eventually get it dry inside.
Yeah, we can show how we attempted to seal it then.
And as we said earlier in the video, we'll show you how this tape works.
Yep, it's pretty simple.
So you just cut pieces off this size, and then you've got to take the backing off. So both sides are sticky, but I think the side that's got the tape on is stickier,
isn't it?
Yeah. And then just replace it where the old tape was.
Okay, I'll do the other two.
And then you just replace the eggs. Push them down and turn them. And then you just pour the water on. And there we go. It's funny, you know, that the egg on the right hand side. Last time we did this, it had a lot of bubbles coming off it, and it did again there when you put the water in.
I wonder if it's something to do with the way the sandbank's shaped.
Probably.
The waiting time was roughly the same as the originals, wasn't it? 2 to 4 minutes. And if you keep a close eye on them, you can see when the tape starts to release its grip because the eggs slowly start to come open.
I think the last time we did I can see that.
Yeah,
one
it's
going
going.
on the
Oh,
right.
hey, it's gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the last time we used this tape, we found it was slight on average, slightly quicker.
Slightly quicker, yeah.
But there's not much in it.
No.
That's interesting as well that we put the same tape on all three, but they haven't all come open at the same time. That's quite nice as well.
I did the 2 on the left, didn't I? The 2 that haven't opened yet, those are the ones that I put the tape on.
Oh,
so
right.
I don't know if I've rubbed down harder than you maybe when I put it on.
maybe.
It's going now. I can see it.
Yeah, I
opening.
can see the crack and all the
Ooh.
bubbles.
Way!
Yay! So, just one left.
You swing the camera around and you'll be able to see it better. It's
Oh, yeah,
going,
it is
yeah.
going, yeah.
That's pretty close, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's not a problem, replacing the tape, so that you can have them hatch over and over again.
Yeah, and you can do it. It's almost endless, isn't it?
Yeah. Goodness, I don't know how many times. Thousands.
I'm sure you'll get fed up of it before you use all that up. Yeah.
So, folks, that concludes this video. So, as I say, we're going to keep testing the turtle, and if it does dry out and it does start working again, we're going to try resealing it, and we'll do a video on that. But possibly, if it doesn't dry out, we might have to forcibly take it apart.
Well, I'm keen, actually, on separating the two halves because I want to see what mistake ZURU have made in putting it together. Because they've not used enough sealant, or there seems to be a lump underneath the tail which is stopping the two halves of the shell going together, and I'm quite keen on finding out what the problem is.
So that's it for this video. I hope you found that helpful. Thanks for watching as always, and we hope to see you in the next one.